I don't know if I'm going to ever cut it down. I don't think I'll ever be able to just finish my hair in an hour and a half. I don't know, but I'm in no rush. Welcome back to my channel. This is Life Hacks and Lessons with Liv, and in today's video I want to take you through every single step that I go through on a wash and retwist day, which I do every 2 to 3 months. It starts off with me starting in the morning. I now start in the morning, so I'm going to walk you through the process that I do at present, because obviously things could change or tweaks could be made, and it's not necessarily what I did when I was at the beginning of my journey, but where I'm at right now, 3 years into my lock journey, maintaining my own hair, keeping everything simple in terms of what I use and what I do. I start off with setting up my phone in my tripod and the screen mirroring, so that as soon as I finish washing my hair and I come to maintain my hair, that's already done. So that is a part of my wash and retwist day. Then I get in the shower and I saturate my hair. Now I completely saturate my hair because I know that I have low to medium porosity, and therefore it takes a little bit of time for my hair to absorb water. So the temperature of the water is usually warm to hot. I like a steamy shower, and I completely drench my hair. It's completely soaked, so I feel the weight of my hair's change the more water that my locks carry, because my locks become like a sponge to all that moisture. And then I do first round of shampoo. That doesn't usually produce that much lather in the first round, but I shampoo with the Cantu cleansing shampoo. Then rinse that out after I've properly, full-blown massaging my scalp and squeezing my locks and all that good stuff. I will then go for round 2 with the shampoo. And so then I start to feel the suds, the soap suds, a lot more. The shampoo suds, the lather kind of starts to build up a bit more, because obviously it's breaking down any oils and things like that. The other product I sometimes use is another Cantu product, but it's called Root Rinse. I think it's called apple cider vinegar root rinse, which also has some tea tree oil in there. So I still have some of that left, so I'm still using it sparingly. I use it a lot more sparingly now than I did when I was a loose natural, because it's a product I discovered when I was loose natural, and I really liked how it made my scalp feel completely refreshed and renewed, like it was just opening up. But then you adjust to it, and I think it's the tea tree oil in there and the apple cider vinegar in there. I think just these very refreshing, rejuvenating kind of sensations. So it feels amazing. It's a weird sensation to feel if you're not used to it. Sometimes I use that in round 2 of shampooing, but not all the time. And then I do a third. So I do 3 rounds of shampooing. And with each round of shampoo, I fully massage my scalp. I'm squeezing my locks. I'm rubbing them together. I do rub my locks together, so rub them on each other. Sometimes I put the shampoo on first. Other times I'll use the root rinse, because it's got a nozzle on the bottom. I will use that on my roots. It's a very loose liquid as well, unlike the shampoo, which is a bit thick, so I have to squeeze it out the bottle. I'd say the root rinse product is very runny. It's very, if you pour it, it will just seem like it's just water in the bottle. So I will use that on my scalp, position the nozzle at different points in my scalp and allow the liquid to run out of the bottle, and massage my scalp, and then add the shampoo and massage my scalp. This is when I get a lot of suds, so it's very satisfying. Once I'm happy that I've thoroughly massaged every edge, all the edges, all the inches of my scalp, every square inch, square centimeter of my scalp, and also the full strand or the full body of every single lock, that's when I will then rinse out. I again rinse out with warm to hot, so the same temperature of water. And so then what I do is leave my hair to drip on me whilst I then finish my shower. So that's when I'll just bathe myself. I did consider tying my hair up with a hair tie so that my locks are not dangling when I'm washing my body, because my locks are getting longer. So these are adjustments that I'm considering the further I move on my lock journey, when I'm doing these practices like washing my hair and retwisting my hair and the things I need to think about. But I just leave them, actually, because I don't want to saturate a hair tie. I don't want to get a hair tie too wet. What I then do is I use a microfiber towel on myself, on my body anyway. So me wanting to use a microfiber towel on my hair just makes absolute sense. It's very natural for me. But if you use a regular towel, I would suggest that when you're drying your hair, you use a t-shirt or a microfiber towel. It just stops too much friction against your hair strands by kind of towel drying your hair and all the fibers on the towel rubbing too harshly on your hair strands or your locks. So I would suggest microfiber, but I use microfiber bath towels anyway. I don't wash my hair separate to bathing myself. It always happens at the same time. I will then throw my hair up into a towel so that whilst I'm moisturizing my body, the towel is soaking up excess water, moisture from my hair. So that's a technique that I use. When I feel like I'm ready to moisturize my hair, I have an oil mix that I put together. I have several oils in my bathroom for my hair and my face. So I just pick a combination of those and mix it up there and then into these little amber bottles that have a little pipette in there. And the oils I often mix, my regulars, argan oil, tea tree oil, sometimes rosemary oil, jojoba oil, and sometimes I put in ylang ylang. I think I've pronounced that correctly. So Y-L-A-N-G, Y-L-A-N-G. But I've also experimented with other oils that I've come across, like apricot, kiwi oil. I don't know if I put those in my hair, but they're oils I have on my shelf in my bathroom that I may mix in. But I'd say I do a maximum of 3 or 4 oils in a single combination. Now, all of those have a carrier oil within the bottle that they are poured from, which is sweet almond oil. So by default, sweet almond oil is also in my oil mix. I mention this just in case you choose to mix oils together yourself. Just know that essential oils like lavender oil and some others, they need a carrier oil. So you just be careful of the potency of any essential oils that you use. And a common, regularly used carrier oil is sweet almond oil, but some people don't like sweet almond oil. So it's just to read the ingredients on the bottle of anything that you purchase and think about what works for you. That's super, super important. I'm a big advocate of people doing what works for them, because what works for me may not work for you. So once I've mixed that together, I usually target my scalp first. So because it's got a pipette, it's a lot easier to do. So I ensure that the end of it is positioned directly on my scalp, and then I can squeeze it through my parts or through my locks, at the base of my locks, at the root, all over, in between and around them and everything like that. And I massage, and that process is probably from the point at which I do my first squeeze onto my scalp. That process is probably about 15 to 20 minutes. I like to be able to massage my scalp for an extended period of time. So I'm not really timing it. My phone is in my setup, so my phone is away from me. My phone is likely already set to airplane mode. Obviously my hair's still dripping to some extent, so I try and put something on that I don't mind getting wet, but I'll still put a towel around my shoulders just to kind of catch any excess water. But I try and wear something that's like loose. So maybe a vest top or a tank top or a t-shirt. But I recognize that I don't just have water dripping. I could have like traces of oil dripping and stuff. And that's why I say I put on something that I don't mind getting wet or soiled by what's in my hair. But because I don't put products in my hair outside of water and oils, it's not that bad compared to if I put a product in my hair. And if I got that on my clothes, I may feel a bit differently. I can take before and after shots and things like that, more for me to capture those, document that experience for my locks, so that I can then do length checks and see how my hair's growing and what the health of my hair strands looks like at my scalp and stuff like that. So there's the washing, there's the moisturizing and massaging, and then there's the retwisting, so the maintenance. If I haven't eaten before I washed my hair, I don't eat until after I finish retwisting. So that's why I say the day is so personal to me. It's so important to me, because once I start, I don't stop. I like to just push through to the very end, because this whole process, beginning to end, from the time I walk into the shower cubicle to wash my hair to when I finish retwisting my last lock and I'm leaving it to set in the hair ties and dry and stuff, it's approximately 4 to 5 hours start to finish. So that does not include setting up my screen mirroring, my light. That does not include the time when I take my hair ties out, when my hair is fully retwisted and I'm just doing the second half of the drying stage, the air drying stage. That's just washing, moisturizing, retwisting. The first lock to the last lock is approximately 4 to 5 hours. In order to not lengthen that process or delay getting to the end, I usually don't eat until the end, until I'm finished and I'm sat with my hair ties in after my hair is freshly finished its whole retwist process. I sit down and position myself to look at my screen whilst my camera's on my head. I now section my hair in just 2, so pigtails is actually something I do now that my locks are longer. I used to do my hair in 4, so I'd have 2 at the front and 2 at the back in terms of sections, and I'd work in sections, and I always start from the back on the right hand side. I don't know why, but I think it's just part of me being consistent. And what I used to do, so this was like probably a couple of years ago, is I would start from the back and probably do 2 or 3 rows up, and then go to the left hand side at the back and do 2 or 3 rows up, 2 or 3 rows of locks. Now I start at the back and go across my head, across my head, across my head, row by row, until it gets to the top. Walking you through the retwist now. Once my hair's sectioned, obviously my hair's still relatively wet, so I don't really need to re-spritz or rehydrate, I would say, the back row or 2. Sometimes I do, just to ensure that my new growth and the unraveled hair, the hair that I'm retwisting, is damp or moist, because you do not want to manipulate dry hair. So that's why whenever I'm styling my hair, unless it's freshly retwisted where I can put this style in without moisture, for the most part, do not manipulate your hair when it's dry. Always try to spritz it or flick or dab some water on it or some sort of moisture before you start the styling, just to make the hair strands more malleable and softer to movement. It just helps to prevent breakage. I clear a row. This is when I clean up my hair strands. I don't care for having straight parts, straight lines. I just need clear lines. So this is why the view of the back of my head is extremely helpful, because it allows me to take my time and gently tug strands back into place where they should be, because my hair loves tangling, which is probably why Locs works for me. But my hair gets tangled very easy. I don't think there was ever a time when I was loose natural where my hair was fully detangled. And so this is why I like to not have anything else to do, so that I can just focus on separating my locks. So sometimes it requires me to pull my locks apart and give it a bit of a tug, and it's taken me time. It's taken me a while to get used to that tearing sound. And it's not that my locks are particularly ripping or being damaged, but pulling them apart, because if you think about it, 2 to 3 months of my locks gradually starting to mesh together, and it's just locks that kind of grow quite close together. So yeah, they just need encouraging to separate. So it's not full marrying. So there's a term that's called marrying of locks. So this is when the new growth or the looser strands start to tangle, and like they want to become one lock, they want to get entangled, you know, have a bit of an entanglement going. But mine, it doesn't get so bad where I cannot separate them. So it's not like I'm encouraging combining my locks for myself. So anyway, I'll take a row, identify a section or a row of locks that I want to work on, and I ensure that I can clearly see the part around each lock, or the parts around each lock. And this is what I do row by row, lock by lock. And this is where I decide whether I want to spritz some water on, and the water that I would spritz on is either clear water, clear filtered water, basic H2O, or it is clove water. I may or may not use clove water. When I use clove water, it is just whole cloves infused into plain filtered water. So those are the only two ingredients. I don't have any other things mixed into that water bottle, and it's just in a little spray mist bottle. So once my locks are cleaned up in terms of parts and stuff and I'm ready to retwist, I either apply that water first, or if my hair still feels damp and I'm happy with the moisture levels of my hair strands before I retwist, then the thing that I apply before I actually go through the motion of retwisting clockwise is a product from a brand called Talia Wajid, I believe. And the product is called Healing Oil. Oil is spelled with a Y, so it's OYL. And it's got a bright orange label on it. I use that, which is just a combination of different oils. So if you read the ingredients, because I like to read the ingredients of things, it's basically an oil product, but it's got a combination of different oils. It smells amazing. I absolutely love this product. I apply that to a row of locks or a section of locks, massage it in. So massage it into the hair strands and massage it into the scalp. And then I identify a lock that I'm ready to work on and retwist clockwise and wrap any loose hair strands at the top end in that new growth unraveled area around the lock. And then I clip to hold it in place, move on to the next one until I've completed the row of locks that I separated, cleaned up the parts, which is basically just ensuring that the hair strands are reassigned to the right locks or are assigned to the right locks. So then I'll move on to the next one and then clip that, start to group them together, clip them together. When the clip becomes full, that's when I transition to a hair tie. And so I do that until my head is done. So that process alone probably takes about 3.5 hours, approximately 3 to 3.5 hours now. It used to take me a lot longer. I don't know if I'm going to ever cut it down. I don't think I'll ever be able to just finish my hair in an hour and a half. I don't know, but I'm in no rush. As I said, like I set out my day. I'm not really in any rush. So I then finish up my hair. So the more locks I do is the closer I get to put in all of my locks in the same hair tie or going back into pigtails. So now that I do across my head from the back, I usually do the back half and then they get grouped together into one ponytail, but then the top is probably still in two sections. And then sometimes I do the front locks before I've done the top in the middle, my crown, so the uppermost part of my head. So this bit is probably the hardest bit to do, not necessarily on my shoulders. It is quite a shoulder workout, an arm workout, but I don't necessarily feel it so much because I think my body's just got like muscle memory, so it's used to moving in all those directions, so that's fine. But it's more the parts are not as parallel or in nice kind of quadrants or squares like the back and the front. Sometimes the parts are harder to see. They're kind of they feel like they're slightly in different directions, and I honestly feel like some of my parts have changed over the years. So the sizing of my locks has changed. 1 minute this hair strand probably was over here, but then it became over here, and with each movement of a hair strand that starts to change the parts, which I find really fascinating. Then the most tangled once I get to that stage, because by then I'm like 9, 10, 11 weeks since my last retwist. Roots are loose, they're fluffy, it's frizzy, and so they've had time to kind of get acquainted, should I say. I try and take my time so that I don't become frustrated, because the more frustration and negative, heavy, unuseful energy I have built up inside of me, I project that onto my hair, onto my locks, onto my hair strands, and then that kind of compromises the integrity of my locks and my hair strands, and I don't want to do that. So therefore I try and breathe through it. It's just like having something that requires a bit more care and attention, so a bit more TLC. So I'd say my crown requires more TLC, which is fine, and I'm very aware of that. And this is why I like the fact that I can do my hair myself, because then I can take my time and I know what a tug feels like. Whereas when you put your trust in someone else to do your hair, it is putting your trust in someone else to care for you and care for your hair as well. That's basically it. That's my wash, my moisturize and retwist process. And I call my retwist a reset. It's a reset, it's a start again, because I usually experience quite a lot in my life between each retwist. There's lessons to learn, there's things to let go of and wash away, there's new beginnings and things to kind of reinvent, reimagine, reconsider, repositioning myself, reconnecting. And so it's a reset. So I love my retwist. I love maintaining my hair. My locks feed me in ways that I cannot even put into words. So if you want to learn more about my locks, if you want to know more about maintaining locks, growing locks, if you want to see more, if you have any questions, then like this video, comment on this video or any of my other videos, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell as well. I will be happy to answer questions. But thank you for watching. I hope it has been useful to you. It has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. When it happens is quite flexible. I'm not fixed. I'd say 5 times a year. Puedo hacerlo hoy. I've got set months, intervals in the year. That was lengthy. And I'll probably stick to that for 2024 as well. It's gonna have to be on another video. That's basically it. Done.